Hello, and welcome to part 2 of 2 on Tutorial Tuesday, where we're going to do 2 designs so that we can catch up for some of the days that we're behind. Before we get started, I wanted to show you really quickly a class that's coming up next weekend. It's on Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or technically Eastern Daylight Time. It is on sale through tomorrow evening. Let me rephrase that. It is up for purchase at the sale price through Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It will still be for purchase after that, before class on Saturday, June 25th, but it will be at the higher price because we need you to get in there right away, sign up for the class, get into the group, and get looking around in there. And also, we're doing that on purpose in case you need to order embellishment packages, which will contain 9 parchment textured transfer sheets to use for doing background on these cookies, and 4 wafer paper embellishments will come in there as well, and we need to get those mailed out as soon as possible so that you will receive them in plenty of time to get ready for class. So this is a picture of the 7 main designs for class. It's called Tropical Treasures Floral Class. There are also 4 bonus cookies to mix in with the set because I just once again want to really hammer it home with how flexible the hexagon shape is. So I threw in some cute little half designs for you, okay? All right, let's get this off the screen. If you have not signed up for, I sure hope everything is working okay, because right when I tried to go live, which was 4 minutes early, it started a crazy update. Hey, how is everybody? Hope you're doing all right tonight. Hope you got a chance to watch the video from this morning. You'll be caught up if you did. These are the last 2 cookies from our spring set from Tutorial Tuesday that were coordinating cookies to go with those fun gnomes we did during Cookie-a-thon. And then there was a 6-piece gardening set. This is the last 2 pieces from that, so we're going to work on these tonight. They are going to be a combination of sculpted icing, sculpted fondant, and maybe some regular royal icing, okay? But these are going to be really whimsical, and I mentioned earlier this morning that we're going to be using the colors that I used in the Tropical Treasures class and coloring some fondant tonight, but you certainly can change the color scheme. Okay, I had to use a no music countdown timer to get going tonight because it's taken me months, literally months, April, May, half of June, a week in March, to get all of my videos untagged so that they can count towards eventual monetization on my YouTube site and my Facebook page. And it's involved a bunch of downloading and uploading in order to get rid of what was tagged, which was an appropriately used countdown timer that I had permission to use, but it kept getting tagged and tagged and tagged and causing problems. So I'd stopped using them for a while, but it's super handy to have one so that I can share this before our video starts and so that I can post messages and all that sort of thing. And send the text message once we get going, give people time to gather with us. So I have contracted somebody today to make my own countdown timer using my own cookie photos and unlicensed music. So hopefully, fingers crossed, big thumbs up. Hopefully this is going to work. It seems to be a reasonable price. I've sent them all the info. And hopefully we're going to have our own personalized countdown timer so that there's no way that anybody can claim rights to an 1.5 hour long video over 30 seconds. So there you go. Just things to watch out for when you start streaming. Haven't had that problem in 2 years. I've been doing different little videos, but really in March, it got super bad and somebody was literally like tagging every single video. And since it didn't have a photograph of me or original artwork in it, I had to fight it every single time. And that was just tons and tons of videos because they backed it up for the whole time that I had been using the countdown timer. So hopefully I have all of that straightened out, and we're going to be using the one with no background music until my personalized one is complete. So there's nothing wrong with your sound. It's going to get down to the last like 5 or 6 seconds and then go click, 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 click. That's otherwise it'll be no noise until we get there. Okay. Let's say hi to a few people and then let's jump in. Hey, Camille, how are you tonight? Guys, we set a new, let's see if that's posting. Is that coming up? Okay, great. And we set a new goal for the month of June for stars through Facebook. There is also my coffee shop site. If you ever want to drop a little tip love over there, that helps support all of the live streaming. And we did just upgrade our StreamYard again so we can stream to more places at one time so that the videos will be out there to more people. Let's see. School's out and you're making both Tuesday tutorials. How cool is that? So if you need to see older videos, Bobby, the best place, the most organized place to see them is on my YouTube channel, which is Seriously Sweet. You'll be able to find that, hit the playlist, or just the live video area. And they're actually, because of the way I save the files, they're all in date order, super easy to find. Okay. I think that one's actually licensed, Allison, but they're working on some fun, light beat, upbeat music for mine that is not licensed to go along with my own cookie artistry pictures. Hey, Janie, how are you? That's so awesome. I'm so glad school's out for you guys and you're getting to do more things. Hello, Sabra. Oh, also, guys, hello, Sally. Hey, Nimrose, how are you? If you've already purchased the Tropical Treasures Floral class, before I went live, you were sent a link to the email that you used at the time of purchase. So check that and check your spam folder. If you purchase prior to me going live at 7:04 Eastern Standard Time tonight, you have been sent a link and you can get in that group right away. There's tons of stuff in there. In fact, I think the only thing that's missing, and I just realized it right when I went live, is I did not resize the Royal Icing transfer templates to be the same size as your Cookie Snack Attack Cookie Education System cards. I put them up in the old format that I used to do them in. So I pulled them down before we got started. I'll resize those and put those up tonight. There's just 4 of them. So that won't hold you up in any way. There's plenty of other stuff to get in there, read about, look at, check your supply list, send me questions. Any of that kind of stuff. If you want to know about substitutions, we were trying to keep the cost down on this one for you. So I'm looking to see if I actually turned the air conditioner cooling temp button on in this room because it's still kind of stuffy. But message me any questions or post them in the group, because if you have them, somebody else has them. All of the Cookie Snack Attack Cookie Education System cards for class, plus the one bonus design card, are all posted. So you guys can get started on printing those out as well. Okay. And I appreciate you guys so much for being back with me on Tutorial Tuesday. If I go MIA again at some point, just so you know, the only things that would cause me to go MIA are if something's going on with my mom, because my mom is always, when she needs something, I'm always going to be there. If something's going on with my husband, I will be there, or if I'm in the hospital. Otherwise, I'm on here with you guys on Tuesdays. I think the last couple of years has demonstrated that. So if I go MIA, something's going on. And if I haven't told you what it is, it's probably bad or very stressful or crisis mode. So just check in if you want to, but don't worry if something really bad were going on with me personally, like injury or something like that, an admin would come on and tell you guys. But otherwise, if I'm not here, you know, it's one of those 3 things, and just send up prayers. That's the best thing you can do when we get in one of those situations, right? And my mom is doing better, Nimrose. Thank you for asking. I'll be excited to get back down there to see her at the end of July and see if we're making improvement. So I'm very happy about that. Janie, yes, I love these shapes. They were so fun. And Sally, hexagon, yes, hexagon, bestagon. Plus, if you noticed in the half designs, it's a half hexagon. Hey, Barbie, how are you tonight? It's good to see you. Hi, Lisa. Thank you for joining us. Somebody sent stars. Was that you guys? Thank you so much. Hey, Barbara, how are you? Janie, yes. Everyone's so crazy with graduation cookies, wedding cookies. Like, there's just so much stuff going on. Hey, lady. Hi, Priscilla. How are you? Hi, Charlotte. Charlotte, are you on the train? Debbie, hello there. Hello, hello. And to my Facebook user, hello. Let me see if I can figure out who that is. Hold on. Let me see if I can figure out who that is, but I can't. But let me say hello to a few more people whose names I can see. Hi, Kat. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Teresa. Hold on just a second. I'm almost done with the list over here. Hi, Lori. How are you? Hi, Karen. How are you doing? April, I think I saw your name on there. I think you're here. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Allison says sing bad renditions of it. You definitely could. I wonder if I record you and it's still a licensed song, if I'm allowed to do that. So, Debbie, yes. So you guys know if I'm not here, if you've been around at all for Tutorial Tuesday, you know if I'm not here, it's something serious. I'm not just off somewhere goofing off, although I'll probably honestly try to be on social media making you all think everything is fine so that you don't worry. I probably will. But if I'm not here doing this and I'm supposed to be here doing this, something's up. So just pray, okay? Hello, hello. I know I love the half hexagons. And did you guys notice in the picture that I put up in the bonus cookies, there are 4 designs, and the way I put them together makes like a little wrapped candy. So think about where I might be going with that for, say, New Year's Eve or summer fun. Perhaps there will be more of those half hexagons in your future. They're in my future, so maybe they'll be in yours. Hey, Kat. If you go missing, you're going to come find me, sweet Sally. That's my buddy in Florida. Thank you. I appreciate it. It would be nice to know. And if I run away, I probably ran away to the Skyline Drive area. You can just go there and start looking. How's the train tonight? Is it okay? Charlotte, have I ever told you that I live in town, but the train, one of the reasons I like where I live, first of all, it's a super cute little house. Have y'all ever seen that movie where the house is like a money pit and like you just have to put more money and more money and more money in it? So I have an older house and everything is having to be redone because it's just older and that's how it is. But don't let me fool you. I love doing stuff like that. So we're really enjoying it most of the time. Remodels are never really fun. There's dust involved, which is allergies, blah, blah, blah. But I do actually really like redoing old houses. So that's kind of cool. But one of the reasons I like where I am is because my house is high enough that it's not going to flood, even though there's a river behind my house because my yard terraces down to the water. And on the other side of the river, it's town property, so they're never going to build there because it is floodplain. So less neighbors in town on the water, got a nice view from the upper part of my backyard. And I have a train. I've lived several places where you can at least hear church bells and the train, and I can hear church bells from downtown here and I can hear the train. So love it. So I like being able to hear that. So love it. Love it. Hey, Lavelle, how are you? You do actually have to tell it each time either your side has an update or that my side has an update. And I can tell you for sure they forced 3 updates. I've had a computer update today, a Facebook update processed, and I'm pretty sure StreamYard had an update about 4 hours ago. So yes, just do it again if you want your name to show. Hello there. Hello there. Allison, if the words are wrong, you think it's not, well, we can make up our own, right? And that's Snail. I know, I love him. I can't wait. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? Thank you so much. I think that means you sent some stars. So when we've said hello, we have lots of people here. Please, oh, Jennifer, you did send stars. Thank you so much. So that goal for the month of June, if we reach our goal for the end of June, that actually, I calculated it earlier, if we reach that goal and have a little bit of tipping over in the coffee shop site, that will pay for June's live streaming expenses and the rest of the upgraded camera that I got, this nice camera that does all the auto focusing and stuff. So then those 2 things will be taken care of. And then we've got the upgrade to pay for with StreamYard, but we're getting there. We're getting, everything's taking care of itself. So it works out in the end. I know, I love it. And it's like, it's the Amtrak train. one day my husband and I are going to go down there and we're going to do a day trip on the train because we haven't ever actually gotten on the train here in Culpeper, but we want to get on it and do a day trip somewhere and come back. So we'll see what happens there. And you know what I'd really love? If they'd figure out how to make this train go to Dulles International, Reagan International Airport, so that I didn't even have to drive to the airport anymore. Even if the train ride was a little bit long to get there, then I wouldn't have to pay those exorbitant garage and exterior lot parking fees. That would be super sweet. And I could ride the train there and back. Hey, Mimi, I'm so glad you caught me live too. Thank you. We're going to try to do 2 designs tonight, guys. So let's get going. Don't forget to buy that class if you're going to join us for class. Now, you can buy it after tomorrow night. It's just that it's on sale. It's $50 right now. It'll be $60 starting tomorrow night, but it is loaded with things this time. And also, I need you to purchase it as soon as possible so that I can get your embellishment packets mailed out. And there's no limit on how many embellishment packets that you can purchase. Those are shipping from here. They'll be coming first class mail. I'm just going to break off probably a really large chunk and a partial chunk of just regular fondant. I'm using straight fondant because we're live on camera. If I was actually making this for a customer and I knew it was going to be like an inside party, I would be doing a fondant modeling chocolate blend for summertime, and other times of the year I'd be trying to use straight modeling chocolate. But for the purposes of demo, we're going to just use some Wilton white as our base. I pulled out this cute little candy because we're going to be doing greens and purple. So I thought we would use this as our little perch down here. It's a little 6-lit in lime green. We'll use that. And then remember, earlier this morning, if you didn't get a chance to watch the video, Jennifer, I don't know. And I don't know how long that would take or how much that would cost, but I'm going to check on it because my last drive home from Dulles Airport to Culpeper, I got stuck in traffic on 66 and then on 29 to 11 because it had started raining and there was a really bad accident, and it was a 2.5-hour drive, I think. Okay, so Janie, let's jump back on what we're doing in the video. Does modeling chocolate get hard? Okay, so it's like having a candy bar on your cookie, and you have to check it for your area. I will always give you the same disclaimer. These things are all affected by altitude, temperature, humidity, so you have to check it for where you live. But for where I live, which is on the East Coast at the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia, so I'm an hour due west of Washington, D.C. Beaches are within 3 hours. Larger rivers, we can be to a larger river like Colonial Beach area of Virginia within an hour and a half, and I'm right by the mountains. Modeling chocolate will set up on the outside but stay soft. I'm sorry, sweetheart, but I hit my little puppy. But stay soft on the inside. Let's see what this says. You live near the Manassas train station. During the week, you can do the VRE commuter train and then metro over to DCA. Is DCA Dulles? Is that what you meant? Might be more expensive to do Amtrak. I just have Amtrak here in Culpeper, though. That's our only option here. Like if I wanted to leave right from here. So I don't know, but I'm going to check that out because that was a really long drive after a very long day of traveling. And it just seems like the way the airlines are going and delays and things like that, that's probably just going to get worse. All right, so let's color some fondant. Are you sure it's Reagan National? Because IAD is what I look up when I look for flights out of Dulles. IAD. Let's see. So I tried and it didn't seem to get hard. Yeah. And it'll stay sticky too if you're in too humid of an area. And come visit me. I would love that, Mimi. I would love to just hop on a plane and go visit my friends. And what I'd really love is for them to announce where CookieCon is going to be and what the dates are, because I just want to know what my next big trip is. Well, I will be going to Florida again at the end of July for a planned trip. And I talked a little bit about that this morning in the video. There's going to be, I'll talk in a separate video probably tomorrow or Thursday night a little bit more about that, because there's going to be a limited number of spots. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought maybe it was national, but I wasn't. Sorry. I mean, I wasn't sure. Sorry about that. So anyway, what was I telling you? Okay, so I'll have a separate video about what's going to happen that week that I'm in Florida, in case anybody wants to set a reservation to participate in something I'm going to be doing while I am out of town. And then I hope I'm not doing a bunch of traveling until the next Cookie Con. And I hope the next Cookie Con's like early spring. But we'll see. You know, never say never. If I get an invitation to go somewhere and teach, I'm out of here. You know, I love it. So I'll be right on top of that. All right, let's set this down. I don't want to stick it to the paper towel, though. And you saw I was just working that to get it moist and warm. Also, I have my hands covered because I have what did I tell you it was? Fireside cherry stain all over my hands from working on the building that's in my backyard. All right, so we need some green and we need some purple. I'm going to do the green first because I just have this one pair of gloves for tonight. Hold on. Let's see you showing. Well, this is straight fondant. It's straight fondant. I would be using modeling chocolate if I could right now because I prefer to sculpt with it. And what I'm doing is just picking up some Dollar Eucalyptus is the color. Hey, Lynn, how are you? Thank you for joining us tonight. It's Elite Color by the Sugar Art. It's called Dollar Eucalyptus. You guys have probably seen a lot of videos where I color fondant. So you know I love to use dry dust to color my fondant because it puts less moisture in it. I prefer to get my fondant really pliable from the heat of my hands, not by adding liquid to it so that it doesn't get sticky. But sometimes you have to use gel color. If you use gel color, then you've probably seen me pick up the really crusty part of the gel at the top of the lids where it dries out. I use that so there's not so much liquid. It's more concentrated. But for tonight, I'm going to try really hard to just use these dry dusts. And isn't this new camera fabulous? I don't know if you guys have realized it yet or not. And hopefully the mic sounds good tonight too. I have the big mic hooked back up again, microphone. Do you see how it doesn't do what the old camera did, where if I made a lot of motion underneath it, it really messed up the camera and it would cause everything to freeze. Have you noticed that it's not doing that? So it's fun. And I'm sure because I've been MIA for about 4 or 5 weeks now, at least it feels like 4 or 5 weeks. I think I was able to do one video, the Gone Coastal video when I was in Florida, but I definitely haven't been on my normal routine. So I'm sure it's thrown the algorithm off a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to grab, so help a live streamer out and share my video if you feel like it. Let's see what this is. You have to leave. Okay, I'm sorry, Sally. I'll see you later, and I'll see you in class. I'm excited you're going to be in that class. Barbie, you like this new camera, right? It's amazing. I'm so excited. I hope I get to teach at CookieCon again, and if I do, if I'm in my own class, a class that I put together, you know what I mean, a class I sell and not a electives class, then I'll be bringing this camera because it is also wireless. So I can walk around and show students work up on the screen too if I just connect to the screen. Mid-afternoon for Miss Angie in Hawaii. How is it there? Hey, Kathy, how are you? Kathy, didn't I see that you had an injury? I believe I saw that you had an injury. Now, guys, I've switched over and I'm going to add a little bit of holly, Elite Color dry powder from the Sugar Art. I'm going to add a little bit of holly in here, just a little bit. I didn't want it to be too dark, but I want to put a little bit of darker in here. And remember, guys, don't use the Master Elite to do this because Master Elite to get the proper color really has to be water activated. Hawaii is beautiful as always, of course. Yes, and Kathy fell and broke her ankle. I knew it was you that I saw. I'm so sorry you're going through that. I don't like anything that slows me down. I like to just keep moving. All right, so I think pretty close color match here. Angie, our weather is hot, hot, hot. It's just hot and it's humid. And it's one of those kind of hot, humid days here where you just wish it would break out in a thunderstorm so it would cool off a little bit. All right, so this is my holly and a little bit of dollar eucalyptus, but I've got it to the right shade. So I'm liking that. I'm going to set this aside, and it's really hot, so I can set it aside without covering it, and it's not going to hurt it at all because I've got it really warmed up, okay? Now let's take maybe maybe 2/3. We'll take 2/3. We're going to leave a third white, and we're going to take 2/3, and we're going to color it with King's Robe, which is this. It's another elite color by the Sugar Art, but it is this amazing royal purple. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty. Okay, so this new camera is a IPEVO, and I'll put a link up after this if you want to check it out. But it's the newest model of this document camera, and it's wireless. It's look what this does. How dark this is. It works wireless. It has autofocus. It's got zoom right on the arm of the camera here. You can rotate from the camera, so no more popping in and out of my Manicam or Minicam, whatever y'all call it. We've never decided what the proper name is, and I've gone to YouTube looking for videos to see how they pronounce it, and everybody pronounces it different. So the back end part of my software that I use to stream with, I don't have to pop in and out of there anymore to make adjustments or zoom in and out. So I love that. You can also take pictures if you are hooked up, if you've got it in sync with your computer. You can take pictures. Like I could stop right now, hit this button, and take a screenshot of what is on the screen while I'm teaching. So that's kind of cool. You don't have to go back through hours of video to find a shot. You can set up a shot and grab a picture. It's just really nice. It is a little more expensive than the older versions of this camera, but to be able to do wireless and Bluetooth or USB, it's really handy. I'm going to see if I can get this off because I'm going to try to leave these gloves on until it just gets too hot. All right. All right. No. Sorry. No. Hey, it was me. No one's at the door. You're fine. Now, you hear that big bark? Sounds like I have a German Shepherd in here. That's my little 6-pound puppy. Purple, Barbie. Okay, that's good, Lucy. Thank you. Mommy's safe. Come on, get back in your spot. Lay down. Good girl. So this is King's Robe. Isn't that beautiful? It's such a great color, and it really deepens overnight. And it is one of the dry dusting colors we're using in our Tropical Treasures class. So you guys don't forget to get that class purchased tonight. And any embellishment package purchased tonight, the price on the class goes up tomorrow night at 6 p.m. And I'd love to get your super welcome, Barbie. I'd love to get your embellishment packets in the mail no later than tomorrow. And I'm trying to send them all together so that you have all of your stuff in time. Okay, so now I have my purple that I'm going to use, and I have my green, and now we're going to have some fun, okay? Oh, April, your puppy herder. Yeah, that's Lucy Lou. Let's see what this is. I am visiting Florida to spend some more time with my mom, who has been ill, but hopefully is on the mend. So I will be making another trip down there. And while I'm there, I'm going to take 3 days and do an online retreat. Since I can't plan one in person, I'd like to have a retreat at a coastal location, just like we have our mountain location that we had the unplugged retreat at. I'd like to have a coastal one each year, but with the late time of trying to plan that, there just was not enough time to get us a meeting location and special accommodations for everybody. The puppy alert was hysterical. Thank you, Allison. So I'll be having an online 3-day event, and we're going to limit the number of people that can attend because it is going to be a Zoom classes 3 days in a row, 2 to 3 hours each day. And we're doing something coastal that's so pretty. Can't wait to show you guys. I'm glad you like these colors, Mimi. Let's see what this says. Now, okay, if you want to use gel colors, you totally can. Just try to use this sticky stuff up near the top rather than squeezing out straight gel, okay? And modeling chocolate is different. You're going to need something different to color your modeling chocolate because you need to be using something you can use with chocolate. And there's a bunch of different brands out for that too, but you need to use something that is for chocolate specifically, or it's not gonna color it. It's gonna make it a mess. She's doing so much better, Angie. So much better. Oh, who has COVID? I'm so sorry. Type your name. We don't know who it is. Is this Lavelle? Or is it someone else that with under Facebook user? Yeah, you got to just take care of yourself, right? So just know that if I'm not here, it's something like that. So let's jump in and let's do something fun. So I thought I would sculpt the roof, if that is okay with you guys. I think it would be fun. Where are my parchment sheets? Here we go. Oh, Nicole, it's you. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I would be sorry if it was Lavelle too. I would feel terrible for both of you, but Nicole, I'm so sorry you're sick. Oh, so rough, right? Oh, I'm sorry. All right, you're going to feel better soon though. All right, so we're going to do something fun on the roof. I haven't done this before, so it's going to be a total mad scientist experiment tonight. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take all 3 colors. I'm going to lift this up a little bit so the area is not so tight, but what that means is you're going to see it. You're probably going to see the camera you see this? There's no way to hide that now. So just know that we're going to be praying for you to get better super speedy. We're going to mix these 3 colors, okay? We're going to do a little bit of play here, and then we're going to sculpt our roof. And then we're going to use a thicker icing to do the sides. And just refer back to part 1 of 1 on sculpting and the layout that we went through this morning for this, in case you want to try to repeat the project. We had a lot of cool suggestions this morning on other things you could use this cutter for. All right, so here's my purple. That's King's Robe, Elite Color from the Sugar Art. This is a combination of Dollar Eucalyptus and Holly, both Elite Colors from the Sugar Art. And this is some regular white. So I'm putting them side by side. Okay, I'm just going to squish them down like I'm making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then I'm going to start to work them like in a figure S and keep the colors kind of straightened out. I'm just going to do a couple different S's. I don't want to blend it. I just want to get that cool marbling look. Okay. Let's put this here. And let's try to squish it from the top down on our parchment. And where's my little roller? Here we go. Let's see what we got going on here. Hello, California. Miss Sandra's in the house with us tonight. All right, so I'm just going to gently, because I don't want to lose all these cool lines. I'm going to gently roll this out. Right? I want those cool waves. Oh, by the way, I got some new fondant molds when I was in Florida. Just things, Wilton things that I hadn't seen up here. So we'll have a bonus video one night when I'm totally caught up. I'm so close to being totally caught up. I just have a few more of the March Cookie Snack Attack Cookie Education System cards to get updated. And then I will be golden. All right, let me pull a little bit of this. I need it to be a little bit more up top here. I need it to be a little wider because I want to cover this area of the cookie. So let's put these 2 pieces together. It doesn't need to be terribly thick for this to work, what I'm going to do, but we want enough that we can sculpt it. And you'll see what I mean in just a second, okay? Now, if this wasn't so tacky, I know I love the wave of the colors too, Mimi. And yes, this would be such a pretty waterfall, wouldn't it? These colors. Love it. All right, so let's pull this center frame. Okay, now I'm going to do, let's see which side we like best. Okay, I like the other side better because it's got more lines, and that's what I wanted. And I kind of want it to come this direction. What I was about to tell you was if this was not so tacky, I would just take a little bit of water with a brush and I just barely wet this part of the cookie and then lay this down. That's what I would normally do, but it's so soft that I don't need to do that. All right, and then I'm going to be able to just mush it onto the cookie, no problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is flip this over. I'm going to put it on some parchment, and I just want to roughly trim. It doesn't have to be right next to the cookie, but I want to go ahead and get this extra off. So I usually just flip it upside down like this and trim it on these big pieces like this. Or you can come right down the side of the cookie and just pull it off. And I'm just pressing to get a line. Water, but no ice, so I won't be tempted to crunch ice tonight. All right, let's just trim it a little bit. We're staying on just that part of the roof for tonight. All right, let's turn this a little bit. Make sure we have everything's going to be covered. We'll work this down just a little. We want to get a nice little edge on here. Then on the side, do you see how I'm using my finger and I'm just kind of covering the side? That's allowing me to use the side of my cookie as part of my canvas as well. And after I've firmly attached it to the cookie, I'll just use my thumb to nudge it back up. Then I'm going to come over here with my X-Acto knife. Look, there's a million ways to do this. If you don't like the way I'm doing it, go rogue or do it the way you like to do it. I am not there's only one way around the barn person. All right, now up top, I also want to cover this section of the roof. So you can see I'm just pulling it over. And then I'm just going to use my hand back here to make sure it's firmly attached and pull off any extra on the back of the cookie. And up top here, we want to pull that off. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to start with my hands to work these lines back over in this direction. Okay, because I want extra on here because we're going to sculpt this. So I just want to get back to that line. Do you remember that line that we set for the roof? I want to get there and make a little edge. And then I want to kind of shore up my side over here, right? For this part. Okay, now before everything gets too crusty, I do want to come right in here. I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and I'm just going to take off this area on the front. I don't have to take it off at the top. That can stay right there. But I'm going to take some of this with the lines. Okay. Rip off a little piece here. And I'm going to fit it in to make this lip on my roof on the left-hand side because I want it kind of raised. Right? So I'm just going to press that into place. Again, it's super soft, so I'm not having to use any water, edible glue, or anything else that you might want to use to attach it to the cookie. I'm going to warm up another little piece really good, right? Because we want it to stick to the cookie all on its own. So I'm just warming it up. You can see I'm trying to keep everything on camera, so you know there's no little trick happening off to the side. I'm going to put it right on the side. And I'm going to smush it into the side of the cookie because this part of the roof is my fondant sculpted part. So I want it all to match on the sides and the top. It's going to give it more of a 3D look. Okay. And I want this kind of raised so that it has that cool look to it, like a little birdhouse or a fairy house might look, right? All right. So I'm checking my edges. I've got my extra fondant here. And remember, we liked that curve. We really liked the curve. And you know what else I think I'm going to do? While we're here, let's warm up another piece. And let's do another little piece right. Let's do this. Another little piece right here. And we're going to come across this edge over here. That'll give us that nice rounded edge on our roof. And then we'll go to sculpting, okay? But I like how that looks. I've got some sculpting tools that were sold in one of our class kits here. Love this set. This is one of the tools. It's angular on both ends for this set. We're going to do like one of those Swiss style roofs. I don't know if that's what it's actually called, but to me, that's what I think this is in my mind, what I think I want this to look like. So just using my fondant tool now to make sure that I have all these nice angles, have my rounded areas the way that I want them. Hopefully everything's on camera there for you so you can see it, giving it a nice lip right here. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to come in and I want to just give little indentions so that I don't have a lot to rework if I don't like it. And I'm going to start my shingles. Hi guys, how you doing? You go ahead and find your spots, okay? I have to get the girls back in the habit of taking a nap during Tutorial Tuesday. They can have their pre-bed nap while I do cookies. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, try and work in an odd just because it tends to look better. Then we like roughly where our spaces are, right? So let's come up here and let's not make this too time consuming or too small, but let's keep it curved going with the angle of the side of the birdhouse here. I want to keep these shingles with that angled look so it has movement. And then let's start at the top and work our way down. Should we do that? Yeah, I think probably we should. So we'll start up here, separate our shingles, then just use this thinner area and really get a good separation here for these shingles. So it looks like the second row runs underneath the first row. Okay. Let's get our lines in here. The marbling is helping too. The marbling and the fondant to create motion. And then we can go back and we can do a little bit of dry dusting with the purple king's robe. And that's really just going to make this pop. But we want to be really careful when we go back and do our dry dusting because we don't want it to overtake all these soft pastel-y colors. But we'll just use a purple to accentuate those cuts in the roof. And then they'll really pop out. Like I think you can see them really good because of the lights in here, the ring lights and things. All right, now let's offset our next set of lines, meaning we'll go, if there's a line here and a line here, we're going to go in between and for the next row to form our next shingle, and then in between here. Okay, and keeping them rounded. And I'm using my sculpting tool to literally sculpt the shingles too, the rounded edges and whatnot, because if you're sculpting, you might as well get as much detail in as possible. Okay, here we go. I think this is looking good. I like it. And you can wiggle this to separate a little bit more. I love that we took the time to marble the colors. I think it's going to look so pretty and whimsical for this set. Loving this. Now let's just make sure we have good separation here. I hope this doesn't bore you, but I literally could sit and play with fondant sculpting pieces all night, and I could look up and it be midnight and feel like no time has passed. So I totally understand if this is not your jam and you don't want to watch this being done live. Sometimes it's boring if you're not the one doing it, if you're just watching. So I get it. If you want to come back and watch the replay so you can see it at the beginning and see it totally finished without all the in-between, I'm not going to be offended. Totally cool with that. All right, so we're separating, a little wiggling. We offset the lines. Let's give it a little under. I'm going in at a underneath direction here to kind of push that back a little bit because we left a lot of fondant at the bottom because that's closer to you. So we needed more to sculpt with. We needed that to look thicker, so to speak, more depth. Okay, I'm happy with these. And because I'm using straight fondant and it's not super dry where I'm at, it's very humid right now, my fondant is not crusting so fast that I'm unable to go back and fix something if I see something I don't really like, right? All right, so let's, Mimi, this doesn't bore you when someone else is doing this? And Barbie, you too? I'm glad. Sometimes I worry that it's like, oh, well, the videos are too long. But then other times I get these really in-depth messages from you guys that there's nobody out there putting out real-time videos anymore, and that you really miss that because you feel like you're not doing a good job or doing something fast enough because you don't have an actual concept of time of how long something actually takes to do. So then you get frustrated. And since I always want you to try a project, if you see something that you want to try, I think you should know, how long it takes and what's involved to do it so that you can work on your patience skills. Right? We all need that. Everybody needs that. Let's see. I've had a lot of practice with that recently. All right. Now I'm going to just push. Oh, I love this because it's almost like, what's that term for quilting where it's not just quilting. It has a special name where stuff is puffed up like this. Do you guys, anybody on here a quilter and know what that term is? You see how I'm kind of going in at a sideways angle for these tiles? I just want to make sure that you can't see all my little lines, because whatever you can see now, you're going to see really, really show up, really defined when I hit it with the purple robe in just a minute, the dry dusting. And I'm doing much better with the arthritis in my neck, just in case you guys are noticing. I did chiropractor, had a little bit of physical therapy, and I take these herbal things and a lot of prayer, and I feel a lot better. So I'm still not able to lift anything super heavy, but I'm getting better. Or I'm learning how to manage it. I don't know which, but since it's going to be a forever thing, unless God chooses to heal me, I'm going to figure it out, because it certainly is not going to slow me down. It caught me off guard, so I wasn't really prepared for it earlier this year, but I think I'm getting back in the groove again. All right, so let's just tighten this up a little bit. I don't really want to do anything on the rounded part. I just want it to be rounded and match the colors. Right, but maybe I'll put just like maybe a little bit of lines. Hey, Melissa, how are you tonight? Let's just do a little bit of curvature in the lines here, just to keep the flow the way that we want it to look. Okay. And so let's carry that on to the side of the cookie, because remember, we've been working a lot this past year on using the side as a workable area of our cookie canvas. So is that on camera? I'm just going to carry this around a little bit. So I set my lines first on the front, on the foreground, and now I'm just following what their natural flow would be around the side here. Just a little bit to pull that around. I'm not going to get crazy and give this like birdhouse gutters or anything, but I do want it to have a certain look to it, like kind of woodsy, even though we're using these pastel-y colors. I would want it to look like bark or something like that, right? I want to have that kind of woodsy look to it. I like that. And I like that the fondant is just starting to crust. So you see those cool ripples? That's the most fun when you're making bridal wedding dress cookies. If you want to hand sculpt them, the most fun is when it just starts to crust. So you can sculpt all the cool ruffles and add beads and sequins and all that kind of stuff. It's so much fun. All right, let's see if we can take this around the edge here. And this. All right, I like how that looks. You like that? All right, so let's do the same thing on this without affecting our roofing tiles. I'm going to call them roofing tiles because they probably really don't look like shingles because of the way I made them. So basically what I'm doing here is the same technique I would use if I was going to create braided rope or one strand of rope. And what I usually do is I start on the inside with my fondant tool and I just rock it over in the, it's not a cutting motion, it's more like rocking just to make the line. And then I use the fondant tool to kind of push it where I want it to be for that last division. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to keep everything right there on camera. Usually I work right over top of these pieces. So hopefully you're getting to see enough of this. And I'm going to switch now that we're to the bigger area. I'm just going to switch it over. Same end, but it's a bigger end. So I'm going to cut in a couple of pieces. Do you see how it's rolling it off? And then I'm going to go back and just push it up. And then I'll just go to this side so that it looks finished and complete my line by pushing in that downward direction. And then I'm going to use my tool and just tuck that in. I use the skinny part of the tool to tuck that in so it looks like it's cut all the way around. You see? Just like that, guys. Hey, Melissa. Hi, Julie. Barbie. Are you laughing at me, Barbie? Because I'm like, yeah, just like that. Just do it like that. All right, I'm going to start at the inside. We're going to rock it away. All right, and do our lines. Then we're going to come back on this side and just put the groove in there. And then we're going to use our skinny part of the tool and tuck that in and just kind of at the same time attach it to the cookie. And then that little bit extra, that's going to have royal icing on it in just a few minutes. But you still should try to clean it up because it makes it a little easier when you go to do your royal. We got to do our dry dusting first, though. Don't let me forget to do the dry dusting if you want to see that. I don't want to do the dry dusting after we put royal icing on here. And if this gets to be too long, guys, we'll break it up into 2 videos, and I'll do this one tonight, and I'll do the snail sometime tomorrow during the day. I'm just going to leave that up to you. Oh, did you see that they are casting for Gingerbread Showdown Challenge or whatever it's called? Do we have any okay, so Nicole, this was a set of 5 that I ordered from a company wholesale and put them in our kits. So they're all different. I don't know where my other ones are, though. This is the one I pulled to use for this project. But there's 5. But these are like, you can get them on Amazon, and some of the bigger cookie companies in the U.S. sell them. They're like $40 a set. But I think they're called like sugar shifters or sugar shapers or something like that. I'm sure Mimi can find them on Amazon and drop us a link. Can you find that, Mimi? You found them for me once before. All right. Oh, just love this. I love what you can do with fondant on a cookie. And I love getting to do sculpted cookies in the cooler time of the year so they can be done with chocolate because it's a win-win, right? First of all, the cookie's super fancy, but then I get to do something sculpted, which just rocks my world. And then people love the 3D and the sculpted, right? It makes it like such a little edible piece of art for them and so special for their parties. But you see how that turned out? Isn't that cute? Do you like that? Oh, yes, we should do this. Remind me, let's do this cutter at Christmas. Totally, let's do this cutter. And Nicole, if we don't find them right now for you, I will find them as soon as the live is over. Okay, but now I'm looking at it, and I think I need this to go up just a little, not a lot. I'm not going to rework the whole cookie, but I think it's just a little too low. So I'm going to tuck in this so it's kind of raised. That way the icing will appear as if it goes up higher. Oh, and Mimi did find it. You like this? I love doing this. All right. So now the reason I'm not doing a matching color of purple is because I want to accent those deep lines. So you guys take a good look really quick at what this looks like for our roofing tiles, okay? And how puffy it is. I think it's called tufted quilting. Does that sound right? A tufted quilt? I think that's what it is, but I'm not sure. So don't go by me. Don't go by me for that. I just know it looks like something in quilting that I've seen before. Can't think of the exact name. All right, let me deepen these. All right, now let's find a thin brush, flat brush, thin and flat. And we're going to open up our King's Robe. We're using the darker color, right? We're going to pull some of this out. We don't need a lot. This is a super dark concentrated color. So I'm basically priming my brush because it's a brand new brush. Ooh, Mimi. Mimi found you guys a set of 6 of these tools on the Walmart site for $8.59. That is way cheaper than what they are from the sugar company. So if you need a set, grab them there. That's super duper affordable. All right, so I'm priming the brush. Do you see how a little goes a long way? Like even though I've cleaned the brush, how much color's in there? And we want to use a darker shade and not a matching the same color because we want to accent those deep spots. So watch what happens when I just go in the ridges. I don't want to do the whole cookie. I just want to go in the ridges, and I'm hitting the under parts where it's standing a little taller. I'm hitting the underneath of the roofing tiles we just made. And I also don't want to do so much that I lose the cool green marbling. This is really just, you see the shading already? Do you see what it does? How it just makes this pop off the cookie? It's these little things that add so much. Like everything matters, right? Doing the marbling matters. The grooving we did matters. But this little bit of dusting after everything is done adds a crazy amount of visual appeal to a cookie. So it is worth practicing. Like I wouldn't go right to your cake topper if you've never done this before and start on that. I'd start on some little just toss cookies, right? But look what it does. And look at how sweeping our movement looks now because of this dimension on here. Isn't that fun? I'll pull a little more out. Let's see. Yeah, it makes the customers go, wow. How'd you do that? I like it when the kids say that. How'd you do that, Miss Amy? Usually I'll tell them when they're older. It's usually my go-to line because they're so little right now, they're not going to understand it. So one day I might need them to come visit me in a home or something, and I'll tell them all my secrets. Let's see. All right, now this, we just want to go over the top. We're not going to go in all those grooves. We just want that to look a little bit different. See? Isn't that fun? I do think looking at it on camera, though, I need it to be a little darker right in here and a little darker right in there. Yeah, I think that looks good. Maybe right here, too. This doesn't look quite separated enough. Right there. And then I can still see my marbling. You see? Can still see the marbling. So I've got that two-tone look going. Now let's add just a little bit of dust on this side, but over here, let's run with the lines. Okay. Put a little down in those cuts. Knock this brightness off right here. This is obviously not something you want to do on 100 cookies, right? Right? But your feature cookies, your cake toppers, your extra pieces that you can justify charging more for because they're going to go on a cake or something, right? Or be a cake topper. Now, remember, I'm using the side of my cookie as part of my canvas. I'm just going to hit this. I don't want it to be such a different color. So I want to come back and do a little dusting here and make sure the cookie's fully covered. This is your fondant's really getting to the point where it's going to crack or tear at this point. So you really need to make sure everything is exactly the way you want it. And then that is our cool little fondant roof. Do you like that? Okay, so now, and it's 8:07, so probably we're going to do the snail separately. You guys want to do the snail separately tomorrow so that you can actually see how to do it rather than me racing through it since we've been on for an hour. I'm seeing hearts, so you guys tell me in the comments if you'd rather see him in a separate video. All right, now I think I can take these gloves off, but I have to warn you, I have fireside red stain all over my hands. Okay, so don't freak out. I did not hurt myself. Nothing's going in. Hey, Judy, how are you? Judy J is with us. Okay, now we are going to use our Lilac Americolor icing. And let's see what this, oops, I forgot to put this piece in. I think we're going to hit the snail separately because I don't want to rush through doing the snail because I have plans for that snail. It's going to be a girl snail and she needs a lot of special attention to her shell and the little sculpted bird that's going to be on her. All right, so we're going to follow these lines. This is a lighter shade than the roof. And we're just making sure that we're covering the lines. Remember in the earlier video that I told you I sketched in black for video purposes. But if you're sketching at home, because it is tricky on a cookie that's oddly shaped like this, if you're sketching at home, I recommend yellow or a light color so that if you miss fully covering the line, it kind of hides, the cookie kind of hides it. Now this is just an 18 to 20 second combined outline and flood icing. I like to do one consistency, especially when I'm doing videos. It just seems to set up faster. And once you learn to work with the thicker icing, it dries faster. You don't have to worry about cratering as much because there's not as much water evaporating from your design. You don't have to worry about color bleed as much. All right, so we're going to leave this like this is. And I think we're going to stripe the front. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to stripe it with. I think we might see if I can get enough of this avocado green out of here. I want a little green on this. And I was going to use the laurel, but I think the laurel is thick. And I think I can get enough of this out of here to do our little striping so we can keep moving. All right, we're going to use avocado green. And remember, we made a mushroom-shaped opening. And we want to keep following along with this curve. Now, because I'm switching colors, I can go right up next to this. It's not going to matter if it blends together a little bit, if the icings marry together, because I'm switching colors. So you're still going to have a clear visual on where the birdhouse breaks apart, right? Where the side is and where the front is. So we did this mushroom opening because this was meant to tie together with our gnome things from earlier this spring. So that's why you have this cool mushroom opening for the birds to go in and out, or the little fairies, whatever. Got to concentrate. And don't let me forget to go back and put that green bead on. Okay. I'm going to come all the way to the top here with the green. Keeping the stripes about even on the front. keeping them curved. And I'm pushing icing up underneath the edge of that fondant. So if at any point that fondant wants to try to come off this cookie, it's not going to be able to once that royal icing dries because it's going to be attached. That's going to kind of cement it in place. And we colored in the background of our mushroom earlier today using a black edible ink marker. But you could do that by scraping that area with thick black icing or a layer of thin flood black icing if you wanted to. I wanted it to look as recessed as possible. So I am totally okay with using the marker to do it. That's okay with me. Cover up that line really good. All right, let's drop this bead in place. That's the perch for our little bird. That way we got to work in a candy. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and do my outside edge with green over here. Since it is the tiniest bit thicker than my lilac, I mean, like maybe a couple seconds. It's not a lot. But I'm going to see how much I can squeeze out of this bag. So we're going to work backwards in this instance. I'm leaving just a little bit of the cookie showing so that it looks like it's framed. Let me freeze up over here. I think we're okay. We're still doing okay, right? All the broadcast has been okay. We're going to curve this one in this direction a little bit. Ooh, I think, you ever been like, it's 1 in the morning, you've done like the last batch of cookies, it's 4 or 5 dozen of them, and you're down to like this much icing in the bag and one 4-inch cookie to go, and you're like, oh, and this is one of those customers that everything has to be identical. Yeah, don't take those orders anymore. They'll shorten your lifespan. Tell them there may be 1 or 2 cookies for design flair. Just tell them that when you take the order. Okay, that way you don't have to go make more royal icing or mix and try and color match again at 1 or 2 in the morning. It's only going to have to happen to you once, and then you're going to find a way around it. So did anybody answer me? Is anybody signing up for that gingerbread challenge? All right. Now we've got our icing in place. We've got our little perch on there. I really like the shape of the mushroom. I wish I kind of moved that mushroom over a little bit more. Let me see if I can take a little of this off, and maybe that'll make me happier about where the mushroom is. Make this a little wider. I'm just using a needle point scribe. If I just make the base, I don't even have to make the stem a lot wider. If I just make the base a little bit wider, it might solve my visual thing that's bothering me here. That's why it's good to always color your area a little bit bigger. I'll be watching the show for sure, but I've never built anything as big as what those people build. I've done little 3D structures with cookies and like the Ferris wheel and stuff, but that's a whole nother universe. And someone I know is hoping to plan a retreat to learn about gingerbread. So hopefully I'm going to get to help. And hopefully a bunch of you will come and go to that, because I know we all really want to learn about gingerbread. Pull some of that off here, and then I think I'll be getting happy with how this looks. I think I like that better. I'll pull some of this off while I can. And I'm using this fondant tool because it's smaller tip than my thingamajiggy. Otherwise, I'd just be carving this out with a boo-boo stick or a thingamajiggy. But it's too wide for this little area we're working in, and I just want to get that opening. I don't want it centered. I just didn't want it to look so far right. Okay, happy with that. Now I'm going to use my thingamajiggy and give myself a nice straight line across here since we combined colors. I like to just make that look a little neater. And then tomorrow when this is dry, I'm going to go back and I'm going to rim the outside edges here and along the bottom like I did this. But I'll wait and do that tomorrow because I want to do a little dry dusting on top of this lilac color and a little bit of, I think I want to put some polka dots. I'm going to put some polka dots on this avocado. I think I want to do that, like little beads on the side. I just needed to make sure it was set up enough that it's not going to sink in, that the weight won't make it sink in there. Yeah, I think that looks good. So don't forget, you guys, while I'm finishing this up, don't forget to sign up for class for Tropical Treasures so you can get right in the group. Plus, it's on sale. The class is on sale through tomorrow night at 6 p.m. And then get your embellishment packs ordered so I can get those shipped out to you. Oh, I like that too with that solid line. Let me put a little bit more icing right here. I'm just jiggling the tip of my bag as I'm doing the icing. That way I hopefully won't have to pick up a scribe to do this part. But get your class paid for tonight. Get your embellishment packs ordered. You can order as many of the embellishment packs as you want. All the details about that is online in the listing at seriouslysweetcupcakes.com, so you can read what you're going to be getting. Oh, I like that. Okay, that makes me a lot happier. Maybe we won't do fondant. Maybe I'll just do some dry dusting because I like that finished look with the lilac. I think it ties it together a little better. But I do want to do some more dots, so give me just a sec. And then I think we'll do the snail separately. Want diamond dust on the roof? I can do it tomorrow. I just have to wait till this royal icing is dry so that I can put a cover over the bottom. Let's put some little beads over here. And you know what else? I have a purple sterling pearl that I could buff on here too. I'm just worried that it might cover up the green if I buffed it. So I think I just have to spray it. All right. Let's see. Oops, let's pull that off there. All right. Well, kids, I think that's it for tonight. And I think we'll do the snail separately so it's in its own video. And I'll probably try to do that during the day tomorrow, but I'll try to do it live. If you want to jump on, you can jump on. If you want to watch the replay, it'll be done. You can watch it. And I'll do it to match this so you have two cookies you can photograph together. And you know what I don't like? I don't like those dots, the way those dots look on camera. And I don't like this. I'm going to fix this really quick. This is what happens when you do a cookie like this, by the way, just in case you're wondering. This is exactly how you start going down the rabbit hole. Oh, let me just fix this one thing. Oh, this one thing would change the look of the cookie. This is what happens. At some point, you just have to set it down and walk away. But I really don't like these dots, so let me fix them. Oh, I really don't like them. I'll think about it all night. So let me just do something here and see if I can make this look more curved, but yet still centered. I'm going to try to make it look like little hearts. Then I might like it better. Pull down through there. Oh, yeah, that's better. Now let me see if I can do that on these other ones. I don't know if it'll work on them because it's not. I didn't put two dots. But let's just see. It's just a test cookie. Oh, it's all right. Be better if it had two dots. We'll just go back and put our polka dots here. They're okay dimension wise. It's just that with the way I did the funky roof so that it would look like fairy looking, you know, the I know I've scraped off entire cookies and started over. I know. If it bugs you, it bugs you, right? But this is the fun part about test cookies, because if it does bug you, you can fix it. So what I'll have left to do tomorrow when this is totally dry, just in case you're wondering, let me get this out of the way so that I don't get icing all over myself. I mean, not that it matters. I've stained myself with Fireside Cabot stain. So, I mean, I look like I'm in the middle of a Halloween episode as it is anyway. And this will help too. I see what it is right now. Let me just put this right here. I like that a little better. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So, oh, and could we add a chimney? Want to add a chimney tomorrow? Anyway, so tomorrow I'll come back with this King's Robe purple, and I'll dry dust these edges and the bottom, and that'll close off my birdhouse, but keep that part lower on the cookie so that this is still the big poofy part of the cookie. And then I'll add some diamond dust, because Mimi's right. It wouldn't be a traditional cookie for us without some diamond dust. So I'll figure out how to get that on there tomorrow. And maybe we'll do that. Either I'll have it done before I come on to do the snail, or we'll do it at the beginning of the snail video. Okay. All right. But it's about 8:30. It was good to see everyone tonight. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to get signed up for Tropical Treasures floral class. I don't want to get tongue-tied on it. Supply list is in there, the class cards, all of that. The only thing I need to reload is the resized Royal Icing transfer templates. They'll be made the same size as your class cards. Okay. There's a full set of class cards, 8 class cards, and then 1 bonus card for the 4 extra things that we're doing. So you'll be able to see all that tomorrow. Okay. Thank you guys. Enjoyed spending tonight with you. It was good to be back. Don't forget to get signed up for that. Post any questions that you might have, and I'll get back to you tonight. Hopefully I'll have those cards posted in just a few minutes too. Okay. All right. Catch up with y'all later. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks to everyone who sent stars. Thanks, Camille. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.